Hello, my friend. I hope you're having a great day. And as always, I have a question for you to pause and think about a little bit. And this one is a thinker. What changes your mind? When you believe one thing and then you find yourself going, that's not quite true. I'm going to believe this. When does that happen for you? I'll tell you when it doesn't happen, when someone debates you. When you and I get in a debate, we don't change our minds. In fact, debate locks us into a corner. We actually, even if we don't like it, we increase our commitment to whatever belief we have. Debate doesn't prove the truth. It proves who's a better debater. We all see this. Every election system, they get in there and they're questioning, so how are you going to actually help the economy? Well, my opponent is going to raise taxes and he eats puppies. They never answer the question, and you don't leave those things learning anything. You leave those things talking about who messed up and who won the debate, not what is true. So how do we have our minds changed? Well, this mind change thing happened to the disciples in a big way. And this is what we're studying at Bayside in the book of Acts. I'm going to go back to chapter 4 and I'm going to read verse 13 and 14. I want you to really observe and think about this. When they, the religious leaders, saw the courage of Peter and John and realized they were unschooled, ordinary men, they were astonished. And they took note that these men had been with Jesus. But since they could see the man who had been healed standing there with them, there was nothing they could say. So Peter and John are on their way to a prayer meeting. They see this man. Turns out he's been lame for 40 years. They pray for him, and he's healed. The religious leaders, they hate this. They're swaying the whole city towards Jesus. The religious leaders are losing power. They're in a roar. So they put him in jail, bring him before the court, and they want to win the debate. But guess what? They can't. And you know why they can't win the debate? A transformed person is standing in their presence. You know what really changes our mind? When we see God transform something. What does God want to transform in your life? Well, here's the hard news. It's not your wife. It's not your kids. It's not your dad. It's not your mom. It's not your friend. It's not your teacher. God wants to transform you. In fact, that's your job, letting God transform you. Because, by the way, you can't transform your wife. You can't transform your kids, your teacher, none of that. You have no control over any of that. In fact, you barely have any role in transferring you. In fact, the only thing you can really do is do what they did. Get in the presence of Jesus. You want your wife to act differently? Get in the presence of Jesus and say, God, transform me so much that she's drawn to you too. You want your kids changed? Transform me so much. Heal me so much that they take notice. Everyone around you, the only chance you have of having an influence on them is put yourself in the place of this lame man. Say, God, if you'll heal me, if you'll stand me up, maybe, just maybe, the people around me will be persuaded to see your truth.